Hello, welcome to Follow Everton. This is my match review and my own personal player ratings. I know the lads from the channel, Jeff, Jan, and our special guest, Dave, and Stevie, of course, already did their own match reaction earlier, instant, straight after the final whistle. I've been to Goodison Park today. I've witnessed the game from the perspective of being in the stadium. So I've got perhaps a bit of a different outlook on the game to what they had, but at the same time, I thought it was definitely worth me coming across and putting on my own personal thoughts. So I'm glad you've chosen to join me here for the next period to talk about this game. Look, obviously our home games have been absolutely imperative. I mean, a look at the teams in the table. The kind of bottom echelons of the league are very tight. There's not a lot between the teams. And I've said it before and I'll say it again now. There's too many teams that look too good to go down. Normally, when you have a Premier League season, hi Emma and hi Ryan, thanks for joining. Normally, you have a couple of teams at least that come up from the Championship who look completely out of their depth and they get battered most weeks. And this year, the league is quite clearly very competitive. You've got Nottingham Forest who've come up, spent a fortune. And even the teams like West Ham who've been struggling, you look at the squads and you think, on paper, you're far too good to be in the mix. Wolves, West Ham, far too good to be in the mix, same as Leicester. So it's very, very concerning because we haven't got anyone coming up from the Championship who's bottled it really in the league and been poor. It's very competitive. And I'm struggling to see the three worst teams in the league. It's very difficult. But I suppose we've got to stay positive. There's still a lot of football. I believe there's 15 games left. So 45 points still on the board, which, you know, is a lot of points to play for. But I am concerned, really. And I'm going to talk about some really important points in this game. And I'm going to give you my player ratings as well. We're paying the price, first and foremost, because we took too long to sack Frank Lampard, really. I mean, you saw, even though we lost the game today, the way the team is set up, the way we go about trying to win the game, is far superior to anything I ever saw under Frank Lampard. And we probably should have gone after the Bournemouth humiliation, I'll be honest. But we persisted with him. And we let him ruin it after the World Cup break. You know, we're losing games, embarrassingly, Brighton. If we'd have just not lost to Wolves, to Southampton, to these teams at the bottom, West Ham, if we'd have just got a draw or something, not lost, we wouldn't be in this mess. But we are. Daesh has had to come in. And listen, the team today, there was a lot of debate over who should start the game. Should we have gone with Ellis Sims over Neil Maupay? Should Damari Gray come in? And I think at the same time, you saw possibly when Damari Gray came off the bench, why he's not quite getting picked by the manager. I will come to that, I suppose, a little bit later on, certainly with my player ratings. But there was the debate before the game. And one thing I wanted to see maybe was a little bit more of an injection of pace and a little bit more urgency and intensity in the team. And I think you can get that with a player like Ben Godfrey. I think you can get that with, I don't know whether you can get that with a lot of players that we've got available, but we seem to be lacking a little bit of bite in some areas of the pitch where I think we're a little bit slow, a little bit passive. I think we need a little bit more pace and a little bit more tenacity in there. And I was disappointed, really. I mean, you can't change a winning team, I suppose, but I'd like to see. I would have liked to have seen. I'd have liked to have seen possibly Sims start the game. I've got to be honest with you. But listen, he went with Neil Maupay. I think we started off the game very, very poorly. We were terrible, in fact. And I sit in the park and the atmosphere was really bad. It was flat. It was flat against Leeds until we scored. It really was. It was really, really flat. And normally, you know, Everton teams in the past, when the players' names are getting read out, everyone's giving them a big cheer. But I feel like it's a lot of nervousness as well. But at the same time, we can't get ourselves up for these players. And you know, it was very flat atmosphere. Really struggled to get the crowd involved early on in the game, and I think Villa saw that and they settled really quickly. Aston Villa, the first 10 to 15 minutes, Aston Villa knock the ball around a bit. Everton I'd say we were 4 or 5 yards off all the Aston Villa players and allowed them to kind of dictate proceedings. And I was really frustrated at this point. And I said to my friend who sits next to me, I've sat next to him at the game. I don't know him outside of Everton, but sat next to him for 7, 8 years while I've had the season ticket there. And he said, would you take a draw? And he said, with the way we're playing right now, I'd take a draw. At that point, we looked like we were showing Aston Villa too much respect. But I think what really changed the game was the referee, Anthony Taylor. You might as well have had a traffic cone in the middle of the pitch because he was utterly useless, booking people for nothing and then stopping play every 5 minutes. Not even every 5 minutes, every minute. The slightest touch, the slightest pull, the slightest anything that Everton did, he penalised. And the thing at that point, the fans were really, that got the fans into it after that first 15 minutes. The fans were furious with really the referee. And as Robbie Pritchard says, the Onana booking, well, that was a farce as well. I mean, the Blues is coming and saying Villa didn't create anything. Yeah, but they were in control of the game. And the fact was that we didn't have any possession. We didn't impose ourselves in the game. We didn't start brightly. We were very passive. We didn't get near them. Yes, Villa didn't do an awful lot. But at the same time, we've got to impose ourselves as a home team. Good evening, Thorium. Good evening, everyone, for joining the stream. Appreciate it. I know some of you will have sat through a good hour and a half of our main match reaction. This is just a little side thing because I've been in the game and I wanted to give my own thoughts. I'm not working tonight. But yeah, Anthony Taylor, absolutely useless. I've never been so wound up by a referee. And the fans were also equally pissed off with what was going on. And I think that lifted the crowd. And we started getting closer to Aston Villa, putting more pressure on them and getting closer to them. And I think instead of pressing as an individual, we pressed as a group and we followed in and we pushed Villa to the brink, I think, at that point of crumbling. We had some really good chances. I'm going to go through my thoughts on that, if that's okay now. I'm just going to refer to my notes. Bear with me a second, because I did tweet a little bit during the game, my thoughts as it was going on. So I'm just going to go back to, I said, the referee has no clue, constantly stopping play. He's unbearable. But the crowd lifted. Right. So very early on, the corners are great. This is a big positive improvement. We're not just hopelessly flicking it in. We look like we're going to score every time the ball gets into the box from a corner. I think they were quite obsessed at this point. This was around 20 minutes in. This is when we were starting to get on top of things. Tarkowski, Villa were really trying to stop him, and they're holding him and trying to block his runs, but he still manages to get away and makes a big effort. But it's actually Neil Maupay who gets the opportunity, heads it wide. I think Everton were building momentum at this point. Dwight McNeil in particular was looking like a threat along the left-hand side of our midfield. He was willing to run, put the hard yards in, and also willing to try and get the ball in the box and create. On the other flank, the less said about Iwobi, the better. I thought Iwobi was anonymous. I'm not quite sure what he is doing. Maybe he needs to come off the right-hand side into midfield and help support with a more of a free role. Didn't really know what he's doing. And McNeil, at this point, Everton were building momentum. We were getting a lot of crosses into the box. No one on the end of it. No one. We've got players in the area. Onana's getting forward. Doucouré's getting forward. Neil Maupay, Iwobi on the other side. No one really is gambling in the areas where the ball's going to go, and it actually gives Aston Villa a very easy way to clear the ball and for the keeper to save. But we did keep pushing. We kept pushing, and we had a big opportunity. It was Amadou Onana from another good cross from. I don't know whether that was a corner by Iwobi or Dwight McNeil, if anyone could clarify. But Onana, yes, he's got to get up high, and I think that dictated the way he had to get up above the defender meant it was probably quite difficult for him to get above the ball to head it down. So he heads it up, and to be honest with you, a decent goalkeeper saving that all day long. Emi Martinez tips it over. And you're thinking, there's another big chance. At this point, Aston Villa, I think, had a long ball, which goes through, and Pickford pulls off an unbelievable save But it's amateur, absolutely amateur defending, and I really am losing a bit of patience with Conor Cody. I think he's far too passive, and Tarkowski is the superior centre back. Pickford saves it, and you're thinking, well, we're in control of the game, but we're still giving Aston Villa opportunities to score. But that was an unbelievable save from Jordan Pickford, really, from close range. And we kept pushing. I think at this point in the game, we were fully in control. And the Blues are saying that Iwobi created 2 chances and protected Coleman. Possibly. I mean, I'm giving you it from perhaps more of an emotional point of view because I've been at the match. There may be an objective point of view, but I will try. I'm just saying it how I thought I saw it. But I thought McNeil was far more involved than Iwobi. Iwobi didn't sit anyone down and try and beat them and put the ball in. So that's how I'm judging the winger in this system. The crowd were now at this point lifted. Very angry by Anthony Taylor, who's continuing to break up play. Aston Villa could see they were under the cosh. There was, I'd say, between 15 minutes and 45 minutes of the game, Everton were absolutely in control and they had other chances. Frustrating, really, that there was other chances where I felt like we should have taken them, and maybe we're slow to react, slow to shoot, etc. But Aston Villa sensed it. They sensed the danger, and they were going down. They were happy to take the fouls. They were happy for a bitty game, going down injured, taking the free kicks, breaking up the play. Everton were building up momentum, and you felt like at this point there was only going to be one winner. And you also sensed that the goal probably would come, but the reality is, from the Sean Dyche's previous games, I've felt that Everton have died off a lot in the second half as they got tired, and they've lost a little bit of that. They create less chances in the second half, I think, of the games. So I think at the half time, I was a bit disappointed because although Aston Villa started well, I think once Everton got over the first 10 minutes and pressed them and up their intensity, which wasn't perfect, by the way, far from perfect, we were the better team. The Onana header, and a very big chance now that I should have mentioned was when Dwight McNeil gets in behind, hit it with your right foot. He's refusing to use his right foot. The chance goes, he comes back inside, plays it to Neil Mopey, who headed wide earlier in the game. And Mopey, he makes it so easy for the goalkeeper because of the way he hits it. He hits it to the keeper at the height of the goalkeeper. So it's not above him, it's not below him, it's where his hands are. It was like catching practice. Really, really poor. We squandered those chances. And we should have been 1-0 up at half time, although Pickford did make that big save. But it was infuriating because you felt like we were the better team at that point. And just because it's half time, I'm just going to come into some of the comments, if that's okay. Robbie saying we're like an armed robbers. We've been using a water pistol for 4 years. Chris is saying he likes the idea of the TV match reaction versus the match reaction from those who went the match. Chris, I love it too. Unfortunately, because of my job, I work Saturday evenings most weeks, so I'm not normally around, but will put it forward to the team about trying to have a consistent sort of separate video. But we do generally do a match reaction with Stevie and Jeff after the game live, and Amy now is really involved, so she's going to be on these instant match reactions if she's not the match, which is probably going to be most weeks. But yeah, Yandalf and myself or Mabsy or one of the people who go to the game will jump on the main match reaction normally and give their thoughts when they get home. But I like the idea of doing a separate video when we can as well. Everton in the dock saying Anthony Taylor effed up with Onana's game. Yeah, I mean, this was spot on, buddy, because I think your name is Les. The yellow card that he got in the first minute, I didn't even see what it was for. But certainly it just stifled his ability to do anything. You're taking away the best part of his game, which is tackling, which is short passes and distribution. He's scared to play. And I felt like because he was on a yellow card, he couldn't get about the pitch and put the tackles in and be as combative as he should have been. And that was Anthony Taylor. And there was a lot of similar fouls, i.e. innocuous type fouls where no one really knows what it's for. And he didn't book anyone. So infuriating. And I think Onana wasn't good against Leeds. He was the worst of the three. But it didn't help today that kind of need him to have a big performance. But He couldn't because he was on the yellow. Still think he could offer more on the ball. He was unlucky not to score, but yeah, I suppose. Can I just have a little sip of my drink if that's okay? What do you guys make of the new setup? Is it clear? Do you like is it bright, nice and clear picture and sound? That's what I'm looking for to try and do moving forward. I believe we're still, according to Jan, we're going through all the applications. There's been a hell of a lot of people who've asked to come and join the show. What we need, I'll be honest with you, if you're watching, we need someone who doesn't go to the home games, that is at home with a good setup like this, who can come on and lead match reactions for the home games. That's really what we need. Someone with a bit of charisma, personality, a bit more extroverted than Jeff and some of the others who are quite introverted. We need someone who can control the technical side of it. So if you think you're up to that, message me, because I know we're still looking for people and we haven't actually gone through all the applications yet. Although Amy has joined the channel, we needed female representation as well on the show. So I'm really glad we've got a superb individual joining with a wonderful football insight. Moving on to the second half, if that's okay. Just need to make sure my monitor's working. It's a bit dicky. Yeah. So second half. First of all, spoke to Mabsy at halftime. He was sat a couple of rows in front of me. Neil saying more extroverted than Jeff. Wait till he gets his new firefight. Yeah, he'll be flying. He was just wound up today because he smashed his phone. He was a bit fed up. I spoke to Mabsy at halftime. He was shaking his head. He was saying, we're going to not taking our chances. He was a bit pissed, to be fair, but I said to him, we just got to keep playing the way we're going. We're going to get chances. The problem is, the goalkeeper for Aston Villa is very good. He's an absolute knobhead, but he's very, very good. And it's got to be good shot to get past him. It's got to be quick. It's got to be incisive. It's got to be. You can't make it simple for him like we did with the chances in the first half, which were poor finishes. I'll be honest, poor finishes. We've got to do more. And we came out, no changes at halftime. I said bring in Damari Gray for Neil Maupay because at least he can hit a ball properly. Less said about his cameo, the better. The Blues are saying Onana is a DM, but he's not a DM. He's playing as a second number 8, so he's got to do a bit more. And we need goals from midfield because they're not coming from anywhere else. If he's a DM, stick him in number 6. You're not moving forward. Not now, please. Sensitive too soon. Make sure you like and subscribe, by the way. I haven't said that yet. If you're new here, subscribe. Hit the like button for me, whether you like the result or not. No one likes the result, but hit the like button. Help the channel out. Help the algorithm. Yeah, no changes at halftime. I think I would have liked to have seen possibly Damari Gray come on. I don't know for who. I didn't think Iwobi was doing his best. I thought Everton were in control at this point anyway. The fullbacks, Michaelenko and Coleman, were snuffing out Aston Villa's dangers, and the midfield was solid. And at this point, we were completely all over Aston Villa. We come out for the second half. I think we showed a bit of intensity for maybe 5 minutes. But again, Villa looking to break down the break-up play. And, it was a little bit infuriating because you've got Villa trying to break up play, and then you've got the referee. It was like blowing his whistle every 5 seconds. Bad decisions, little innocuous fouls that most referees just, not even fouls, just he didn't allow any contact. He didn't allow the game to flow. It must have been a terrible watch on the television for a neutral. But Aston Villa were the first to make the change. We didn't look like scoring a goal at this point. We didn't really create anything. And Aston Villa were the first to make a change. They sniffed blood, smelt blood. I believe there was a Jordan Pickford outstanding save. An outstanding save. Another one where he stopped a certain goal. I think it was a header from Ollie Watkins. Hit it low. Can anyone clarify? I've not seen it back, but it was Iwobi who left his man. He misjudged the ball in behind Seamus Coleman and Iwobi. They got mixed up, and the cross comes across, and you just know there's an overload. Someone's going to score. And Dave Weston saying it's an unbelievable save. It was a fantastic save. Onto the post and down, I think, or hit the crossbar. And you're looking at the ref, and yeah, we got away with it. And then the ball goes out for a throw. You're thinking regroup. We were extremely passive. Connor Cody was passive at this point. Tarkovsky is the leader at the back. I don't know what people say about Cody. I think he's just got a big mouth. I'm not seeing what else he's doing. He doesn't drive forward with the ball. He's a bit lost at times. As P-Macker says, it was a Nev-esque save. It really was. It was unbelievable. Okay. I forgive Cody for that then. Maybe I misjudged that, but he saved it off the line. I'm probably being a bit too harsh. I just think for the goal I'm going to talk about now, Buendia comes on around 60 minutes. And Everton are quite predictable. You know they're not going to score in the first half. They tend to be quite low-scoring games. And then something happens. And this time it wasn't our way. Buendia's on. And Villa have got a plethora of options on the bench. They bring off, who is it? Leon Bailey. Leon Bailey comes off. The Blues are saying it was Tarkovsky, not Cody. In which case, yeah, Cody's shite. Take a quick throw. We're not set. Or I don't know, but the referee, oh my God, he doesn't have a freaking clue what he's doing. But it was a throw in, and Buendia gets the wrong side of Connor Cody. And Gay comes to cover. And does he tackle? Should he just try and block the shot? Or should he hold it and run with him? I mean, to be fair, no one knows what you should be doing in that scenario. I'm not a football coach. But to me, it looked like he'd scythed him down from behind the goal in the park end. I thought, oh, it was a clear penalty. And I was furious because you felt like it was going to take something either very special or a mistake to change the game here. And it was Villa who got the look. So for me, yeah, they had two big chances, but I think overall they probably didn't deserve the lead at this point, if I'm being honest. I think it was, you could say Everton were in control, but Villa had chances. So, yeah, it's difficult. I felt like Everton controlled the game and Aston Villa had two massive chances. So I find it hard to say who deserved the goal, but yeah, they got the penalty and you got the sinking feeling. It's kind of just like a numb feeling. And Pickford looking at his water bottle. He gets the right way for the penalty. And Watkins, he looks up for it. You know, this is the difference in him and Neil Maupay. He looks like he's got something about him that's going to he could create a goal from a long ball with his pace or running at a defender or his good movement. And you look at that and Villa have just got, like Fulham, like Wolves, like all these other teams have got more options than us. They've got more quality in these attacking areas. And he puts it away. Pickford guesses the right way. I don't know, does he get a hand to it? But I think he was quite unlucky not to save it. And at 1-0, you're thinking, we're not going to get 2 goals, but we'll take a point. I think we'll take a point at this stage. And Everton kind of upped the game. I felt like we allowed a lot of the throw-ins to be taken slowly and the goal kicks to be taken slowly. And I felt like we didn't have the intensity after really the intensity once we'd conceded a goal wasn't there. I think we huffed and puffed for about 5 minutes and then it kind of went flat. The game died off. There was one big chance. I think Iwobi had a shot and it kind of went out, but it got kept in and it went across the box and it was cleared off the line. I didn't actually see that because I put my head down for when Iwobi hit it wide. So if anyone can clarify what happened in that moment, that would be great. Blues is saying the pen went down the middle, Pickford died left. Well, there you go. Shouldn't have read his bloody water bottle and trusted his instinct, but I suppose that's one of them. He's not expected to save it. But yeah, we huffed and puffed. We called for 4-4-2. Should we have taken Onana off at this point because he can't tackle because he's on a yellow? But he was playing okay. I think he was keeping the ball well and getting himself about the pitch. I still think there's so much more to come from him. He's got so much more ability than he shows quite clearly. I just wish we'd let him off the leash. But I don't know whether we maybe... Manager's not going to do it, but when we're playing quite high press... maybe Ben Godfrey can come on and bring a bit of pace on into the back line just so we're not getting done on the counter-attack as much, but he didn't do it. We really tired. And I'll be honest, once Neil Maupay, once Damari... I'm getting my mixed up, I do apologise. It's hard to do a stream on your own. Once Dwight McNeil tired because he was our best player by a country mile, kept working, kept tracking back, kept trying to make things happen. Once he got tired, once Decore played well. I mean, a lot of them played well, I've got to be honest. Decore played well. Once he tired, although he still needs to get shot off earlier instead of taking 50 touches and refusing to use his left foot. It's infuriating. Doucouré played well, but once these players tired in the press and we stopped pressing as well, I think Villa gained a bit more control. I'd say from 75 minutes onwards, it was just literally them time wasting. Steve O makes a good point. He says tired 90 minutes per week. I agree. They should be capable of going at it for 90 minutes. I think if everyone had the same energy and effort as Dwight McNeil and Doucouré today, we would have won that. But I felt like we were good, but we were just not good enough. We were just not so much more we can offer in that midfield in terms of tenacity. The frustrating thing for me is the times where we were on top, when we were totally all over Aston Villa, we just didn't punish them and finish them off or up our game, just that extra gear that we needed to get the win. And we when we were 1-0 down, I just felt like, yeah, we tried, but we looked tired. We looked like we were a bit lost of ideas. Apart from, I think, one chance, which, as I mentioned before, was cleared off the line. Thank you very much, the Blues. My good friend, he said it was cleared off the line from Mope. So maybe Mope had opportunities. Should he have scored? Should he have scored that? Should he, or was it just very good defending? Justin saying, long and short of it, goals change games we can't score. I said this before the season starts. Look at the historical record of all of our players. Iwobi's never been a goal scorer. He's got 1 goal this season. Dwight McNeil, he's not a goal scorer. Neil Mope's not. We scored 1 goal in 12 months, and he was prolific maybe at championship level, but certainly not in the Prem. And Onana and Doucouré. Doucouré used to chip in with 5-6 goals a season for Watford, but doesn't now. Onana won this season. Gay hasn't scored. We haven't got any goals in the team. We said that from the start. You sold Richarlison. You not replaced him. You needed another striker, even with Richarlison and Gordon, because Calvert-Lewin was not fit, and we got rid of Rondon and Toast. And so, I mean, that's a separate thing I'll talk about at the end. But blimey, we didn't have anything to offer at this point. I think we tried to get the ball into the box. We brought on Ellis Sims. We brought on Damari Gray. Damari Gray passed a very good opportunity instead of just putting his foot through it and scoring. And the less said about him, the better. But he didn't do well. Ellis had a bit of a hooked overhead kick. But it kind of just fizzled out. And I think the fans got a bit deflated. And then there was a ball, a long ball. We were caught again. The shape was not there. Mikalenko sucked in. He probably should just kick his ankle and bring him down because we were outnumbered, but doesn't. Gets done. And then the ball comes across, and it's Buendia, I think, on the left. There's 3 Everton players trying to stop the shot. No one's close enough. And it goes through Pickford at the near post. Shite. 2-0. Game over. Fans started leaving the ground. Move on. You know when you're conceding a goal, we're not scoring 2, the best as you're getting a win. We've got to get the first goal in games. Listen, the margins are so tight. There are no bad teams, really. And if you get the first goal, you can do what Aston Villa did, which was frustrate. They played the perfect game, really, in that respect. Frustrate, wait for the mistake. They were not creating an awful lot, Aston Villa, but they waited for the mistake, got the mistake, and then played on the counter-attack and did us when we were chasing the game. And that's kind of what you need to do away from home. And that's really what Everton have been doing in a lot of games, getting the first goal and then shutting up shop and trying to counter-attack. But listen, there wasn't enough quality at the top end of the pitch. And I've watched a lot of Premier League in the last few weeks, certainly because I've been sucked into looking at other teams around us. I don't want to be sitting watching West Ham games and Leicester games and Wolves. I really wouldn't give a toss about them, but I'm now forced to sit and watch every team in the relegation battle because we're shy. And they've all got more play. They've all got more quality than us in the top end of the pitch. And yeah, I mean, I'm really disappointed with Conor Cody for the first goal. I think he let Buendia go. I'm very disappointed with Garner, but when I saw it back, he does get a slight touch on the ball. Whether that's enough, I don't know. Was that a pen? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Was that a penalty? In real motion, at the game, I thought it was, but I haven't watched it back. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, the second goal is just caught out. So the thing is, we're making a lot of fouls, but we weren't making them at the right times. Make them when you need to stop a goal. Make them when you're in transition, but don't make them when you're in comfortable positions and give them easy fouls. There's clever fouls, and there's not clever fouls. And Everton today didn't make clever fouls. They were stupid. They were niggly. And we should have took out their players when they were going to score. It's infuriating. I think Dyche, he's only had 4 games. He'll get it. He'll get it right eventually with that and make us more snide and harder to beat. But I've come away from the ground a bit flat, a bit deflated, but also as upset as I am, I'm quite numb to the situation now because this has been 18 months plus of terrible football, terrible results. Goodison guy, welcome to the stream. Make sure you subscribe. He says blatant penalty. Fair enough. Yeah, just flat as a pancake with it all. I'll give you my player ratings and keep the comments coming in because in this comment segment before I go, I'm just gonna have a little bit more of my Diet Coke, which I brought home from Goodison, which tastes like shit. Yeah, it's just depressing. West Ham won 4-0, I believe. Leeds won. We're in the relegation zone. What do you expect, really? They're not that bad. These teams are not that bad. There's no one getting trounced. As I said at the start of the video, there's no one getting trounced 3-4-0. We need someone to go on a horrible run of form. I almost want Crystal Palace to lose to Liverpool today because I think they're one of the teams that haven't won maybe 6 or 7 games and could get sucked into it. But again, I don't think they're not relegation fodder. Teams that don't score goals and concede goals are relegation fodder. Yes, we're quite decent defensively, but we don't score goals. And people talk to me about Connor Cody signing him for $4.5 million. Why would you sign him for $4.5 million? He's no better than Yerry Mina. Is he actually better? Does anyone seriously think he's better than Yerry Mina? And is he much better than Michael Keane? Is he much better than Michael Keane? Or Ben Godfrey? Is he really worth a sign? Is he the answer? I'll take him for free possibly, but I wouldn't pay any money for him. But we're at the bottom of the league for the reason. I wouldn't give half of these players new contracts if they were expiring tomorrow. It's just we probably haven't got any money to sign anyone better. But we do have Jared Branthwaite, who I think could come back and replace a couple of the centre-backs, that we don't need. Justin agrees with me. He says Cody isn't worth signing. And Chris is saying, I prefer Godfrey. Please, can you hit the like button for me right now? Turn notifications on as well. Hit the bell if you're already a subscriber and get your friends involved. Please let me know what you think of the setup. Is it clear? Is it good? Made some improvements, I hope, to the setup just to improve the way it looks and sounds. It's not perfect, but I think it's as good as I'm probably going to get without spending 600-700 quid on a mirrorless camera. And the channel makes no money to pay for that. It costs me money to do. So at the moment, that's out of the equation, but I hope this is clear and nice for you. Yeah, so player ratings, Jordan Pickford. I'm going to give Jordan an 8 because he pulled off 2 phenomenal saves. The one which was the long ball, which shouldn't have happened, which is just stupid. Connor Cody gets caught out in behind. And the one just before the goal. I don't think you can do anything about the penalty, really. I think it's just one of those. It's, you've got a chance, but you've got a small chance of saving it, but it's difficult. He had to basically read the run up. Although he was running very straight, and you look positionally where he can put that, but I'm not going to be too critical. And then the second goal, I don't know, should he do better? Should he do better for that? I've not seen it back, but I still think probably I'd give Jordan Pickford an 8. I thought his kicking was okay as well. He was shocking against Leeds. He was kicking it straight to them. Mykolenko, I thought that he was quite good defensively for 45 minutes, but there's nothing going forward from him. Almost scared to get forward in this game because of what Aston Villa do. And that's not how good teams play on the front foot. People will hate me, maybe. I think Mykolenko's had a lot of sympathy because he's come from Ukraine. And he was crap from pretty much day one. Didn't see anything in him. But he was given a free ride because, we got rid of Luka Dean, whatever, his personal circumstances, which are not really relevant. I have to look at him objectively. He doesn't assist, doesn't cross well, doesn't make good runs. Today, I don't know. Maybe I'm harsh on him because I feel like we expect a little bit more from our left back. I feel like we need a bit of control, but the goal for me, why doesn't he just take the foul in that position? just foul him, bring him down. We caught out, and yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm getting slaughtered in the comments. People are saying he put in 3 crosses, maybe a bit harsh, but I think my standards are quite high from a left back perspective because we've had good left backs. Um, he crossed for Onana's header. Okay. I'm going to retract and say that we'll give Michaelenko a 7, but I think yeah, we were strong down our left. So yeah, a 7. I just think I want more from a left back. I want someone who can beat a defender, who can make good runs, who can be very, very effective with his final pass and get back. But I didn't think he played well in the second half. I don't know whether seven's too good. I'm sorry. I'm going to give him a 6. Going to give him a 6. He would have got a 7 if we just scored. Player ratings are hard. Player ratings are hard to do. James Tarkowski doesn't put an awful lot wrong in the game. He's the best. He's the best of a bad bunch, really, in terms of central defenders. He's tenacious. He's very good from the set pieces. He reads situations well. I'd say it's the closest thing to Jags we've had in years, and didn't do an awful lot wrong. I think the second goal, is he caught out? The first goal, are they caught out? I need to see that back. But I think his overall defensive play was decent, and at the same time, we didn't win the game. We conceded 2 goals. So can you give him more than a 6? I'm not sure. And Connor Cody, I've got to give Connor a 5 because he got caught the wrong side for the Buendia chance, which was costly. He probably would have scored had he not been hacked down by, well, debatable again. I don't know. People are saying that's a pen, others are saying it's not. But I think he would have scored. And then the caught out again for the second goal. But anyway, I think he was the more passive of the 2 centre backs. So I'm going to give him a 5.5. Got a Villa fan coming on. Hi, Gray. Hit the like button for me, please. Subscribe. I'm not expecting you to watch every video, but it'd be nice if you can. He says, you played well. You play to your strengths. You don't have an Ollie Watkins up front who can lead the line and score. I do think you'll stay up. Thank you. I don't know if you've seen it, but I thought you played well for 15 minutes. Then we took over. And then once you scored, we should have scored in that sort of 50-minute spell when we were the better team. And we got punished for a mistake. And then it went flat and you punished us on the counter-attack. It was classic sort of away football. And yeah, I think the difference, although I don't think, I personally think a draw might have been a fairer result. I think that Aston Villa have got that top-end quality, right? And they've got players on the bench who can change games like Buendia and Coutinho. And they've also got Ollie Watkins as well who scored. So, you know, you're a better side. And to be honest, it's sad to see because you've come up from the Championship in 4 years and we've not beaten you in this entire time. And you're superior than us. You're one of many teams that have overtaken us technically in results and league position. So, yeah, good luck for the rest. We don't play you again. So good luck, whatever, for the rest of the season. Make sure you beat some of our relegation rivals. So, yeah, Coleman, what more can you expect from Coleman, really? He pretty much shut up all the Villa players throughout the game, apart from that big chance where Pickford was forced into a save because he was caught out and Iwobi missed the pass. But is that more of a miscommunication? Was that Iwobi's job? Was that not Coleman's job? But I think Coleman, I'm going to give him a 6 because I'm just, were you that bored? I've just had to block a Newcastle fan. Have you got nothing better to do, buddy? You're in a cup final tomorrow. You must have more interesting things to do. What I actually need is someone who can run the comments as a moderator. That would be great if anyone watches every single stream and wants that responsibility. Yeah, I think Coleman, we conceded 2 goals. It's hard to give anyone on a losing team a higher than a 6, but I think he was fine. I really think it would be harsh to say what are you expecting from him? He's 34. He's 35 this year. I think he's doing adequately. It is what it is. Just before I give you the others, Gray is saying thank you very much. He says he loves Everton as a Villa fan. 2 clubs identical. Very good tradition. I mean, there's a lot of similarities between the clubs, Gray. I respect you for that. Midfield. Should go from right to left. I'll start with Iwobi. I didn't see him offer a lot. He's not really getting on the end of the crosses coming in from the opposite flank. Yeah, he works hard, but I think there's so much more. Again, I don't think that top level engine, that energy, and that creativity is quite there yet. And I know he's suffering playing on the right side of midfield. I don't think that's his natural position. But if we've got a clear strategy to get down the left and cut in and cross it across, surely he needs to be getting on the end of crosses, maybe at the back post. But I was a bit disappointed with Iwobi today, and I was disappointed, I suppose, against Leeds, although he got the assist. I don't know. I think he's suffering probably playing on right midfield. I'm going to give him a 5. Look, you're probably going to disagree with my player ratings, but you honestly going to give players high ratings when we've lost the game. There are players I'm going to give a high rating to. I'm going to move in midfield, and I'd say on the right hand side, Decore, I'm going to give a 7, possibly a 7.5, because I felt like he ran his socks off. He pressed. He understood what he needed to do, and yeah, he didn't get any chances really today. Although I think he did have a sort of a half chance, which he didn't get a shot away. I think Decore is playing well, and he's worth his place in the team. If he wasn't, then you could say Iwobi could come inside, and you could bring in Demarai Gray. But Demarai Gray hasn't played well, so it's all a bit of a mess. We haven't got many options in there. You've also got James Garner. Was he on the bench today, James Garner? Was he on the bench? But Decore, yeah, he's played great, and he was probably the best of the midfield 3 in there. So I'm going to give him a 7 to a 7.5. Let me know in the comments what you think. What would you give these players as I'm doing it? Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I chatting shy? Am I spot on? Or do we just have a difference of opinion? I'd like to know. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Moving in midfield, then I'm going to go to Gay, who was at the base of the midfield. He gave away the penalty, put the challenge in. I don't know whether it was a pen or not. I personally felt it was a clear penalty. Then I saw it back, and he got a slight touch, but it's the angle. Does he cut him with his knee? Does he cipher him down? Listen, I don't think he played as well as he did against Leeds. Against Leeds, I felt like he snuffed out everything and stopped Leeds really causing anything. So I think probably Gay, he gets a 5. Doesn't really offer anything going forward, and expect a little bit more shutting up shop. But the thing is, we were in control of the game, and it's really, for most of it, and it's really difficult to say that, but we lost the match ultimately because of, we couldn't score a goal, and they're all part of a collective issue, not scoring a goal. Robbie's asking about a new contract for Iwobi. Personally, I think we've got to give him a new contract because we can't afford to sign anyone. But I wouldn't be offering him 100 grand a week for 5 years. I'd be saying you can have 60k. We'll give you a 3-year contract, but he'll probably go somewhere else. No, the Blues, Cody and Gay are both a 5. We're both poor in this game. Both poor. Probably could. Some people come on here and rate them lower. Some people rate them a 4. Which you can do. Do you think they were worth a 4? Onana, again, he had the header, but what else did he do in the match? Apart from pass it side to side. They were all collectively quite good, but they were not quite top level. Again, I feel really harsh because we were good for large spells. It was probably the strikers that let us down. Chris is coming with his Pickford 7, Taco 6, Cody 5, Maiko 5.5, Coleman 6. It's similar to mine. Quite similar to mine. But yeah, I mean, Onana was a 5 or a 6, really. He didn't do an awful lot. He had the header, but I think there's so much more to come for him, and he's playing with an injury. We'll give him a 6. I think he did what he needed to do in that midfield. I think you can't give him higher than a 6 because we didn't win the game, and he didn't really impose himself brilliantly. But for me, a 6 is like, yeah, you've done your job. 5 is probably average or poor. 4 is very poor. 3 is atrocious. 2 is terrible. 1 is, you've had a horror show. 7 is very good performance. But yeah, you say 6 is average, but what standards are we judging him? Are we judging him by his own standards or what we expect as fans? Because I don't think anyone could say it was good enough. But by his standards, again, I don't think it was his best. It was his best game. So I'll probably gave Decore a 7, 7.5. I'll give Onana a 6, and I'll give Garner a 5. I'll move over to the other side. of it. Dwight McNeil, I'm going to give him an 8 because he worked his socks off. He put balls into the box. His corners were good. He tracked back. He didn't give the ball away very much. What more can you want? What are you expecting from him? And the only reason I can't rate him higher, or you could challenge me on that, was just because the one chance where it fell to him again on his left foot, down at the park end side, instead of shooting on his right foot, instead of having the shot, scoring the goal, passes it, passes it to Mope. So although he was the only bright spot really in terms of affecting the game going forward overall, really trying to make things happen, um, he can't get. It's hard to give him a high score, isn't it? But I'm going to give him an 8. I really thought he played well. I thought I'm going to be assertive. I thought he played well. Thought he played well overall. But yeah, he should have scored against Leeds if he'd hit that first time with his right foot. Same again today. Same again today. So up front, then you've got one striker, Neil Mope. It's such a really difficult one to do because he had chances. He had the header in the first half from the corner. He had the chance where he hits it up to Martinez and makes it comfortable for him. And he also has the one that was cleared off the line. So could you say he's unlucky or he's not clinical enough? He pressed, he works hard. He pressed and he worked hard and he got into the areas to score for them. Yet I think he can still do more when the cross comes across, getting in front of the defender instead of kind of being in the wrong areas to get on the end of the McNeil crosses. But yeah, I mean, McNeil and Mope are a poor sort of front two in reality, and I don't know. I don't know what to say about Neil Mope. It's just it's hard to rate him harshly, but at the same time, he's not taking the chances. And I think that collectively we didn't take our chances. We didn't create enough as well overall in that second half. So I can't give them, and we can see the goals. Can I get other people's? Can I have your player ratings, please? I'm going to read them out. I want to know what people have thought. Watched it on TV or you've been in the game. I'm going to give Mope a 5 because he was in the positions to score and he worked hard. But yeah, he's a striker. That's his job. And he didn't put it away. So you can't give him any more. So that is my player ratings. That is my match review. Put your comments in, please, with your player ratings and any final thoughts, and I'll go over them. But yeah, results haven't gone our way really. Bournemouth have lost, but it was a bit of an awkward one today because two teams in the relegation battle in Leeds and Southampton were playing each other, I believe. And the same with West Ham and Forest. So yeah, it's difficult to know. I think you want the minimum points, you want draws all around, and I am negative because I am negative because since I started this channel, we had Carlo Ancelotti, James Rodriguez, Gylfi Sigurdsson, Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin. We had quality players, and now we don't have the strength and depth. We sold Richarlison, we sold Gordon. We never replaced either. We needed signings on top of them, even if we'd have kept them and didn't do it. The board, the recruitment, everyone has let us down. The fact we're going into these games in the first place without a decent, recognised goal scorer or two or three is an absolute embarrassment, is a shambles. And ultimately, I'd say the reason we lose in games and we're not winning a lot of games is because we don't have the goals, we don't have them, and we've been shortchanged and we're under-equipped. We're going to Arsenal on Wednesday. We're going to play for a point. How can you honestly go there and expect us to get up the pitch on the counter-attack and cause Arsenal problems without someone who can hold the ball up, without pace? The substitutions today, I can't give Ellis Sims more than a 6, and Damari Gray gets a 5 for me because he was poor, looked lost. So Davis comes on. I mean, these are the options we've got, and this is down to the recruitment. This is down. We've got to firmly blame the people who in charge of this football club for not giving the players that we needed to be competitive in this division. And I said it at the start of the season, we needed a striker. Before we sold Richarlison, we've thrown all of our eggs into one basket, and that basket is broken. And now we're testing the water with players who probably aren't good enough. "50 minutes talking about this shite." Make sure you like and subscribe. I'm going to go to the comments now and look at these. But you can say it was 2 big mistakes from Garner and from Cody, and just collective mess for that second goal. But the game should have been out of sight. But the thing is, we allowed Aston Villa to break up play. We allowed the referee. No one was in the ear of the referee saying, "You're stopping play for everything. That's not a foul." No one was making it difficult. The referee had a field day throughout the 90 minutes. He took the absolute piss. And we allowed it to be broken down. We allowed the injuries. We allowed the slow throw-ins. We allowed the goal kicks. We weren't nasty. We weren't clinical. We weren't ruthless. We weren't horrible. We allowed Aston Villa to do that. When we were on top, we allowed them to make us suffer and to slow the game down and to change the pace of it, because we were the better team for large parts of this game. It just frustrates me that we allowed that to happen and that we didn't take our chances, and yet we made mistakes. Am I right? Am I wrong? Didn't take our chances, made a couple of crucial mistakes. Dyche is woefully under-equipped with the players he's been given, and the referee, and we allowed Aston Villa to take the piss. Didn't think there was much leadership today, I'm not going to lie. Right, these are the player ratings. Justin saying the Mopé chance, did he? I've not seen that back. The header. Is this the second header? The one that was cleared off the line? It was an open goal. I mean, if it was an open goal and he didn't score, it's unbelievable. I think fans have lost patience with him. Maybe 5 was too generous then. Pickford and Seamus an 8. The rest are 4. I think, Steve, fair enough. You're entitled to your opinion, Steve. I think Onana and Doucouré were okay. Doucouré was the best of the bunch there. McNeil was played well, and Pickford and Seamus. This is the thing. When I was at the ground, I said to my mate, I said, we've not played that bad. We just haven't got anyone up front who can put the ball in the net. It was really difficult to do player ratings on that basis. The Blue 6s and 7s bar Mopé and Cody, who deserve a 4 and a 5, and McNeil an 8. So man of the match. I agree. McNeil was definitely the man of the match. Kelly saying Pickford, Tarko, Cody, Michaelenko, and Coleman. He's given a Pickford a 7, Tarky a 6, Cody a 5, and Michael a 4, and Coleman a 6. Then he's gone McNeil, Onana, Doucouré, Gay. McNeil's been given a 7, Onana 6, Doucouré 6, Gay 5, Iwobi 5, Mopé 3, Davis 4, Sims 4. We need DCL. Where is DCL? So people are saying it's in his head and he's not actually injured. The scan showed nothing. Where is he? Where is he? The guy who leaks all the stuff on Twitter should know, surely. Where is he? Goodison guy, Pickford 5, Pickford 9, Maiko 6, 7. Could Pickford have saved that second goal? Just asking. Pickford 9, Maiko 7, Seamus 7, Cody 6. So basically what you're saying, the reason we didn't win this game was because Iwobi and Mopé played poor and Gay made a mistake, which some would say was fair enough about Gay and Mopé. Justin saying he would have shelled the extra for Gorka. I mean, yeah. I don't watch him, so I can't comment. Welsh Hibby, hi. Subscribe if you haven't already. Says think he or she thinks we're going down. I wouldn't be surprised. It's sad to see. And this is why the atmosphere is so flat, because I think fans are just anxious and apathetic towards it all now. They're just kind of like, yeah, we've won a couple of games, but other teams are winning around us. It looks very difficult. TJ saying he thinks he doesn't see us scoring. But I didn't see really a lot from Aston Villa in terms of dominating the play and dictating it and creating a lot of chances. I felt like we were in control, but we were in control, gave them 2 big opportunities, and then we didn't take our own. The Blues are saying DCL's none choosing to get injuries. His body's brittle. We haven't looked after him. Well, you hope that is the case. I mean, it is just rumours. I'm not going to confirm or deny either way. We just have to take it at face value, and that is that he is actually injured. Jim is saying we need to not lose to Forest and Brentford and go all out against Arsenal. Brentford's a type of game where you have to win. You have to win our home games, but they've played us off the park previously. They've got top end quality in Ivan Toney. I'm going the Forest game. Going the Forest game. Is it the 5th of March? Is that next weekend? Is the Forest game next weekend? I'm going. I've got a ticket. Mabsy got me a ticket for my sins. The scan shows nothing. There's no major damage, but if he did play, he'd get injured. He's an athlete. I mean, what the hell's happened to him? Lot of comments. I think I've covered everything. And I think between this and the previous video, I've covered everything. I haven't got anything more to say other than I hate the ref. I hate the referee today. I hate the fact we gave a penalty away. I hate the fact we didn't take our chances, and I despise the fact that we've been left with this bunch of players in terms of the fact that we are so under-equipped in terms of overall squad and lacking genuine Premier League proven attacking options. This is Everton Football Club at home. We're a massive football club and we've succumbed to this. The fans are numb. We play Arsenal on Wednesday. I don't know how we're going to get a result against them. Maybe we play 7 or 8 defenders. We've got enough of them. It's collecting centre-backs. Jim's saying Villa are our bogey team. Yeah, I mean, since they've come back up, they're a bogey team, but should do better. Should do a lot better. We're too nice. We were too nice. I think we can bounce back. We've got, is it 2 away games on the bounce now? I mean, we're already in the bottom 3. It was a big ask. As I say, we sacked Lampard too late. We're playing catch-up. It's really scary. Everton Doc saying, do you think 36 points is our limit? I don't even know whether we'll get 36 points, if I'm honest with you. I think we need 40 points to stay up just because the teams around us aren't that bad. And they'll probably push us right to the wire. And I think that Bournemouth game on the last game of the season is going to be just as important as every other game. Yeah, people have said they've mentally prepared. So I'm gonna love and leave you all. Thank you very much for watching Follow Everton. And if you haven't watched the other match reaction, which was pretty instant after the game with Jeff, with Dave Weston, who's just another viewer who we asked to come on to help us because we are a little bit short for numbers for this game, and he was brilliant. And again, if you're interested in joining the channel, you know someone who could be good to present and come on and do the show, either with myself or with others or on their own, please let me know. But I'm going to say good night, and please just do me a favor and hit the like button on this video. Take care.